Welcome, everyone, to the Tuesday, October 21st, 2025 Tumwater City Council meeting. We will start off with roll call.
Councilmember Leetta Dahlhoff.
Present.
Councilmember Angela Jefferson.
Somebody? Okay, sorry. Is that me? Councilmember Jefferson is excused this evening. Sorry. I got sidetracked by the echo.
Okay. Councilmember Joan Cathy.
Present.
Councilmember Eileen Swarthout.
Present.
Councilmember Michael Althauser.
Present.
Councilmember Peter Agave.
Present.
Councilmember Kelly Von Holtz.
She's also excused this evening.
And Mayor Debbie Sullivan.
I am present. Join me in our salute to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we have two special items on the agenda this evening. The first one is an update from Experience Olympia and Beyond by Emily Brooks and Kelly Campbell. Oh, are we doing the Hope and Healing first? Yes. All right, backtrack. The first item is the Hope and Healing Clinic presentation by Hannah Kilmick. If you could come to the podium.
Thanks so much. Can we cue up that? Perfect.
And you can lift the microphone.
Okay.
There you go.
How does that sound?
Perfect.
Okay, great. Thanks so much for having me this evening. My name is Hannah Klimek, and I am the outreach coordinator with the Chehalis Tribes Hope and Healing Clinic. We are first and foremost founded and stewarded by the Confederated Tribes of the Chehalis Reservation. Our clinic location is 9474 Lathrop Industrial Drive off exit 99, located in Tumwater, Washington. The range of service of the clinic in Tumwater is this is a 30-mile aerial radius map of where we serve. And we are predominantly currently serving Thurston and the surrounding counties with a focus on the Chehalis tribal land and Lewis County. I wanted to kind of start off talking a little bit about our values at the clinic. We are a business of the Chehalis tribe and are founded on these kind of 4 core values of operating inclusively, being intentional with our services, practicing trustworthiness with the members we serve, and serving our members at clinic with care. I included some photos of our clinic if you haven't seen it. Again, kind of on that vein of person-centered and holistic care. We have a very experienced team of healthcare professionals at our clinic and a wide range of care practitioners that also have lived experience with either addiction or mental health challenges. We're predominantly an opioid treatment program, but we are broadening our services to serve those struggling with many forms of addiction. Eligibility and criteria for our programming is pretty straightforward. Over the age of 18, Native and non-Native individuals diagnosed with an opioid use disorder or a substance use disorder of some kind. We accept Medicaid and some private insurances and have financial navigators to help potential members kind of navigate that care side of things before they become enrolled. More pictures of our beautiful clinic. And this is just to kind of show what we do. We are a harm reduction based program. And what that means is we're an OTP and we're offering referral and linkage to our members. We operate as a drop-in center for our members, those enrolled in our programming. So people who come and access services at our clinic are able to stay, connect with our care team, and if needed, get resources like naloxone or housing assistance from our peer navigators or substance use disorder counselors that we have at clinic. A little bit about medication for opioid use disorder. If you're not as familiar, we do offer methadone at our clinic and buprenorphine, naltrexone, including Vivitrol, a wide range of treatment for opioid use and other substance use disorders. If someone's not interested in medication for opioid use disorder, we're more than willing to work with them. Our counselors can connect them with counseling and also behavioral health services. I probably should have led with, we've been open just about 18 months and we are currently expanding rapidly. So there's, as we speak, things being added to our programming, such as more robust behavioral health services and a psych prescriber coming on board, which is extremely exciting. This is one of my favorite statistics, just about a little bit about medication for opioid use disorder, and that it's cutting the risk of overdose in half compared to people that are in counseling alone or not in treatment, which I feel is a very powerful statistic. Our clinic hours, 6:30 a.m. to 5 Monday through Friday, and Saturdays we're open 8 a.m. to 11. The dosing hours, that's when medication's being distributed, vary a little bit, but we are open a lot later than most opioid treatment programs, which typically close around 1:30. So we're offering dosing up till 4 p.m. Monday through Friday, which is a real game changer for folks that are having trouble accessing care or connecting with services later in the day. I included in my slideshow photos from people that work at our clinic because they're fantastic. These are some of our member service representatives. They're the folks that will greet you when you come in the doors and help get folks oriented if they have questions, get signed up with services. They're also the ones answering the phones when people are calling with questions or interested in treatment. And they can also assist with more complex questions about insurance and such things like that. Peer support. We have a peer support team. Those are two of our peers, Devin and Kay. Our peers can do all kinds of things for our members. They can provide transport to DSHS, Social Security Office. They can support with kind of any goal identified around recovery that our members at clinic have. Our behavioral health services, again, are kind of in the midst of an expansion, but they're available to any of our members enrolled in our programming. We have safety at our clinic as well as at our mobile unit, which I'll touch on in a little bit. But very proud to share about our safety team because you wouldn't know they were security when you walk to our clinic. They really set the tone, creating an atmosphere where people are being seen and cared for and welcomed in. This person-centered concept is something that I've heard a lot about in my time working in behavioral health services, and I don't see executed very often as warmly and sincerely as I do by our safety team at clinic. And it really sets a tone of people building that trust and that core value that we base our work off of. Our transportation team, probably one of the most exciting things that the Hope and Healing Clinic offers is transportation to members to and from our clinic. And that is from whatever their place of residency is. So it could be encampments. It could be downtown locations. If they don't have a set address, our transportation and our dispatch person, Olivia, works with folks to get pickups and routes scheduled. So our transportation allows folks without transportation and who are facing barriers getting to and from clinic to safely get to and from the clinic and access care. Mobile unit. So excited about our mobile unit. The Chehalis tribe recently purchased a building located in downtown Olympia, 319 7th Avenue, next to Franklin Street Harm Reduction, which is a newer building that opened a couple months ago. And our mobile unit is now stationed in downtown Olympia Monday through Friday, serving individuals in the downtown Olympia corridor. And I'm very proud to share that in the 3 months we've been in downtown Olympia, the first 2 months we were at the Union Gospel Mission, we just started to see an increase in enrollment, and now we're very close to maxing out our services from our mobile unit in a very short amount of time. And our mobile unit includes all of the staff that we have at our clinic, including our safety team. And then we have additional drivers. So if somebody comes up and expresses interest in care and doesn't want to go through the mobile unit, we're able to transport them to our clinic. There's our beautiful bus. You might have seen it in the Tumwater 4th of July parade. But yeah, you'll see it, our mobile unit on the freeway to and from Olympia Monday through Friday, getting folks connected with our services. Wow, I flew through that. I think I would like to close a little bit just about Hope and Healing's guiding phrase, Shakwalayson, which you might have seen under our tagline there. It's a guiding phrase that translates to he, she, or they turn around. And it's intended to signify the moment that a person decides to make a change and choice to turn around in their recovery in their life. I'm really proud and honored to work for this program. I've seen firsthand the impact it's making in my community. I've worked in homeless services and kind of behavioral health addiction services for some time now. And the growth I've seen, even, and I've only been with the Hope and Healing Clinic about 120 days. But I've kind of kept my eye and been in tune with the work they're doing in our community through my work in homeless services specifically. And I believe that we are one of the best resources available for addiction treatment and one of the best low barrier options in terms of connecting people with care. So I don't know if I was supposed to leave time for questions or not, but I'm glad to take questions if there are any, if I have time.
Does anyone have questions? First, I want to say thank you for coming. We spoke at the Chehalis medical clinic, the medical fair that you had. So it was a huge turnout. There was way more vendors than I thought were going to be there. So I was very happy that you agreed to come and speak tonight. So, Councilmember Swarthout.
Thank you. Councilmember Dahlhoff and myself and Councilmember Von Holtz had an opportunity, I think it was when they first opened, had a chance to tour. It's a very unique facility. Just the inside, how you're able to move, how that you can change the walls and adapt the building to however you need to. But the security piece was really interesting too. And just the level, how thoughtful everyone was. It's just, you really get that feeling when you're in there. And that was just when you were just getting started, and the bus was amazing, getting to be on the bus as well. And so it's neat to see that it's being used and it's downtown. So what is your funding source? If you have that many people you're working with?
Well, we are a billable service, and we're a business.
Okay.
So we're able to generate through billing. A lot of our membership base is on Medicaid.
Okay.
So,
All right.
yeah.
Thank you. But I appreciate the service that you're providing. So it's amazing.
Yeah. I love inviting anyone who's interested in touring our clinic. It's difficult to describe, but kind of captured it well there. It's the layout of the building is really designed to meet people's needs where they are, meaning when people come to our clinic, we are responding to their need that day around them and not giving them really structured, okay, you need to be here at this time, which is a really unique format for services. And it's also, I think, leading to people coming back for service. So thank you. Anything else?
Great. Thank you. Before you go, I have something for you. So we usually give these out at proclamations, but I wanted to present you with a city pen. Thank
Take it
you.
back.
Thank you. All right, our next item is a presentation from Experience Olympia and Beyond. So Emily and Kelly.
First of all, good evening, Mayor, council members, staff, and I'm Kelly Campbell, Vice President of Finance and Administration, and this is Emily Brooks, Director of Community Engagement and Marketing for our organization. You'll hear from us both tonight. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to share an update on the important work we're doing. We probably don't give it enough, so whenever you need it, we're happy to give it. As the official destination marketing organization for Thurston County, we promote tourism-facing businesses and attractions all across all municipalities, including the city of Tumwater. We collaborate closely with local hotels, restaurants, parks, and more to represent the full spectrum of Tumwater's visitor economy. We are here tonight to give you an organizational update over here on the slide. Our current budget is $1.4 million. We're a staff of 4. Emily and I are Thurston County natives. Pretty proud of that. I went to Tumwater High School, in case anybody wants to know. We have a vacant position that we hope to fill by the year end. And yes, we are anxious to fill our open leadership position also with the right individual. Earlier in 2025, we started providing board members with a few highlights at our board meetings to better share updates with their municipality or organization. That's been received well, and it's part of our commitment it's part of our commitment to being transparent. Today's mayor's, administration, and county officials were invited to attend and meet with our board of directors to discuss any concerns of our organization, along with the interim CEO position. This was well attended, and we appreciate Mayor Sullivan making the time to come join us today. Similar to the process earlier this year, we all asked board members if they were interested in serving on a selection committee for our new CEO. Once an interim is selected, we anticipate a 6 to 9 month transition period. I know a few of you met with Nicole from Searchwide Global in September in our attempt to gather as much input as possible from all the community as we select our new leader. So we want to thank you all for your time. And next, I'll turn it over to Emily to provide a marketing update.
Thank you. Yes, I'm Emily Brooks. I first just want to start off by saying tourism is important to all of us, not only because we get to showcase the incredible destination we call home. I'm a proud Tumwater resident, but also because this industry is an economic driver to all of us. It brings in new money to the area, and that money doesn't just stay within hotels, it ripples across multiple different areas of the community. Our work at Experience Lumpy and Beyond and through tourism supports what locals value most, our quality of life, our sense of place, and the essential community services and jobs that keep Thurston County and Tumwater vibrant. Tourism helps fund the thing that we rely on every day. A couple of high-level data points. In 2024, Thurston County overall welcomed over 3 million visitors. That number represents people who traveled more than 50 miles away from home to experience our destination. The visitor economy is essential because it provides direct benefits to households, businesses, and government. So in 2024 alone, visitors spent $572 million. That level of spending sustained 4,076 jobs and generated $56 million in state and local tax revenue. We can look a little bit closer at where that $572 million was spent. So the largest was in food and beverage at 30.4%, then retail, followed by recreation, and then lodging. As I said before, it doesn't just, as you can see here, it doesn't just stay within lodging, it ripples across all different factors. Here you'll see the big return on investment by targeting potential visitors from 50 plus miles away to encouraging them to stay the night. Looking at the total visitation on the left, 41.2% of visitors stayed overnight in Thurston County. And when compared to the total economic impact on the right, 70.7% of all, they made up 70.7% of all spending in the destination. That just shows the impact that tourism has on our community. I wanted to break things down a little bit further. That was all Thurston County as a whole, but right here you will see a snapshot of the Tumwater visitor. This information comes from our sentiment survey and also Datify, which is our attribution platform for digital advertising. People who visit Tumwater typically are about 2.5 people. They stay just under 2.5 days, and they come from Vancouver, Portland, Seattle, and Longview. In the sentiment survey that I was just mentioning, we conducted that this summer and we asked visitors the most effective travel resources they turn to for inspiration. Websites found via search engine, like Google, was our top resource, followed by online content, articles, and blogs, and then official, local, or state visitor guides. These are the exact resources that we put money into to attract people to come visit us. We also asked our visitors the type of attractions they experienced last when they were here. So dining was at the top of the list, shopping, scenic beauty, waterfront, followed by a couple more. We also asked their top travel priorities right now. Enjoying nature was at the top, followed by road trips, seasonal travel, and then budget travel. This is data right here that we use to create messaging to attract audiences to come to our destination. Here are a couple examples of our work. All of this is placed 50 plus miles away, so it's not intended to be seen locally. One of the most effective resources in our marketing toolbox, as I like to say, is digital programmatic advertising, which you'll see on the right of that picture at Brewfest. This is highly targeted advertising. We're not casting a wide net, reaching anybody. We're reaching people who are actively looking to travel and that are most likely to visit Tumwater. We can also see when they visit our website from an advertisement and then target them again with a different message, getting them further down the marketing funnel. We can't break ROI out by jurisdiction, but as a whole for Thurston County, every dollar that we spend on digital programmatic advertising, we see nearly $239 in return visitor spending in Thurston County. We also make sure that Tumwater's story is being told across other platforms. So the other three are social media posts. That one next in the middle right is about the Olympic Air Show that had great traction on our Facebook page. On the left here, you will see our advertisement in the State of Washington Visitor Guide. So again, one of the top travel resources. Because of our relationships, we were able to secure this advertisement for 1/4 of its rack rate. We are always good stewards, and I stretch marketing dollars as far as I can. On the right here, this is our brand new advertisement in SeaTac Airport. It was just installed the beginning of October and will be there through December at the D2 gate if anyone is there. I will be there on Saturday and I'm going to take a picture with it. Here is on the left a picture of our visitor guide. It has a print distribution of 60,000. It's also available online and is a tangible resource that travelers pick up, keep, and use when planning their trips. And then the rest of this is the community guide. The community guide is really just expanded content of what's in our visitor guide. And a lot of that expanded content we also see that residents want, and that just reinforces the value of supporting local businesses. We work with city staff to curate this content. Here is the Tumwater domain, experiencetumwater.com, which is optimized for search engine optimization and constantly updated with content, ensuring that when somebody Googles things to do in Tumwater, they find us right away. The newest content that we're proud of, and a huge shout out to Councilmember Jefferson and also Jason. They provided a ton of information for the George Bush history article. And we saw that you all included it in a newsletter, and we very much appreciate that. The website also plays a huge role as search changes. You all have probably noticed AI overviews when you Google something. The website remains an authoritative resource as that's constantly being used, those AI overviews in LLMs, which are large language models. And then lastly, just a couple of things on the radar. We are excited to announce that AJGA, which is the American Junior Golf Association, is coming to Tumwater Valley Golf Club in the summer of 2026, 27, and 28. That has been a long time coming, and the staff at Tumwater Valley was great in helping us to secure that. We'll also continue to support the WIAA Golf State Championships and work on attracting youth and adult sporting events to Tumwater via the Olympia and Beyond Sports Commission. Thank you for your time tonight. Happy to take any questions.
Great. Any questions? Councilmember Swarthout.
Hi, welcome. Thank you for your presentation. I really enjoy that. I was checking, I know there was word talking about doing like a QR code or something where when you went to a site, like say Woodard Bay, and then you could click on it and it would tell you, it would give you information about that site. I didn't know if that's even something that, I was wondering if that was something that we were looking at that had been talked about before.
We
You
don't do
have
that
that yet?
currently,
Okay.
but
I
that's
think
a
it was when
really-
I was on BCB, I think we were talking about that. That's
Okay.
why I was wondering about that. It's been a while.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was not here back then,
Okay.
but
It's been-
that is a great idea. Yeah. So
Okay.
no, not yet.
Okay. Just curious.
Great.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Wow.
All right. Before you head out, I would like to present you with Ken also. Great. Next item on the agenda is public comment. So did we have anyone online signed up for public comment?
No, we don't.
Okay. And we don't have anyone signed up in chambers. So if anyone who hasn't signed up wish to speak, I'd ask that you come to the podium. Doesn't look like I have any takers this evening, so that works fine. Next is the consent calendar. So do I hear a motion to approve the consent calendar?
So move.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilmember Agabi, second by Councilmember Swarthout. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. All right, the motion carries. With that, we have approved the minutes of the October 7th City Council meeting, approved the minutes of the City Council work session of October 14th, payment vouchers, Resolution R 2025-019 for surplus property, award a bid for the Second Avenue pedestrian bicycle improvement project, the Lodging Tax Advisory Committee 2026 funding recommendations, right-of-way procedures, and reappointment of Elizabeth Robbins to the Tumwater Planning Commission. And I believe Elizabeth is currently serving as the chair of the Planning Commission. Next, we will move to council considerations. First item on the agenda is ordinance number O 2025-017, establishing the Equity Commission. And I believe we have Assistant City Administrator Kelly Adams.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. First, I'd like to thank Mayor Sullivan and City Administrator Parks for the opportunity to work on this priority this year. And so just to say, I'm the last runner in this marathon to get us to an ordinance. So first, I'd like to thank Jason Wetstein and many of the staff and those who were interviewed over the last 2 years to get us to this place, to get us to an informed place for this effort. So I want to start us by rooting us in the actual definition of advisory boards and commissions. So advisory boards and commissions help city councils by studying issues, plans, policies, making planning processes more inclusive, and facilitating communication between elected officials and the community. And so what we are doing today is not new. This is what we do with advisory boards and commissions. So a good example of this was in February, the Planning Commission and the City Council went on a fantastic and rainy tour of our transportation facilities to support development of the comprehensive plan. This was a really great way to get out and walk and to see the transportation issues in action. We also have a wonderful tree board who engages with the public at events, distributes seedlings, and helps us to understand some of the challenges with trees and canopy in the community. And when we're really lucky with the camera, we get our tree board members in action actually planting trees. Okay, so when we put together this ordinance, we sat down and looked at what's currently existing in the municipal code and what currently is allowed or is required by RCW, and looking at the history of when these groups were established. We didn't want to design something that was out of step with what Tumwater is already doing. We didn't want to create something that would conflict with our current policy. And so these were the different boards and commissions. And two interesting notes here. The Thurston Council on Cultural Diversity and Human Rights, that is no longer a group that meets, but it's an interesting point in time to go back to 2001 and read that documentation and the council's intent to participate in this type of work. And then looking at Barnes Lake Management District Steering Committee, that is a community group that got together and had an ordinance drafted to meet the needs of their petition. So again, this is really not new work. And then so in looking at how we structure this commission, we looked at membership terms and special allowances and requirements for what currently exists. And something that was kind of interesting was to note that Tumwater doesn't have term limits on any of their boards or commissions. So that was an interesting takeaway. And as we look to make improvements to all of our boards and commissions and our municipal code, this is good information to look over. One thing I want to go back to. So we did want to make sure that we allowed participation from Tumwater's UGA. And in looking at the traditional approach to this and comparing the population sizes, we felt that it was appropriate to have one member from the UGA. So what's included in the ordinance and what's not? So we have introductory language that references the history of Tumwater. This is a uniquely Tumwater ordinance. We talk about the purpose, the terms of the membership, the length of their terms, and their duties and responsibilities. What's not in the ordinance, and this is what comes later, is to talk about application process. That is a conversation that we need to have with the mayor and council. And what the definition of group representation, what do we mean by that? That is work that we need to talk about with the mayor and council. We will talk about youth representation at a future discussion, because we need to look at all of our boards and commissions and have a conversation about allowing youth representation across the board, or to have a youth council. So there's a bunch of varieties there, a variety of options there. And then looking at a stipend program, naturally when the conversation starts about an equity commission, we'll talk about stipends, but that's a research project and a focus for a future discussion. That's not something that is included in this ordinance. So just reviewing the main elements, the purpose of this commission is to identify and promote activities related to city services and facilities that foster a more welcoming community. This is a very focused commission so that we can start really identifying barriers and gaps. We want to enhance participation from underrepresented community members, and that kind of speaks to one of the first tasks of the Equity Commission is who is underrepresented, identifying those metrics. And then addressing gaps and barriers that may prevent full engagement in city governance and public policy, and providing recommendations to you, the city council, to improve local government practices and policies. And so when we looked at membership terms, we wanted to be careful to begin with a staggered term so that we didn't have everyone up for appointment at the same time. So 4 of the members will start on a 3-year term, and 3 of the members will start on a 2-year term. And as far as residency, we would like 6 members to be from city limits. 1 member may be from the urban growth area. If we don't have a member from the urban growth area, we may have all 7 from within city limits. And so this feeds into the final bit, which is the duties and responsibilities. And so we want to provide awareness and feedback, identify existing gaps and barriers, and seek greater participation. And so our staff recommendation tonight is that council adopts ordinance 02025-017.
Great. Any questions? First, I want to say thank you, Kelly, for doing this because this has been on the agenda for a while and it takes a lot of staff time to do this. And when we actually had the assistant city administrator position, Lisa and I talked, and that was like boards and commissions is going to be one of the projects that that person will get to do. So I'm very happy that Kelly is working so hard on this, and you're not new to it because you did a lot of this work in Lacey. So, so this isn't starting at ground zero. There is some a knowledge base here. So with that, any questions, comments? Do I hear a motion?
It'd be my honor to ask for council to move the and adopt ordinance number 02025/017, establishment of an equity commission for approval.
Second.
All right, it's been moved by Councilmember Gabi, seconded by Councilmember Dolhoff. Any discussion on the motion? All right, with that, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, nay. Motion carries unanimous. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
I appreciate that.
Thank you, Kelly.
All right, and the next item is the intergovernmental agreement with Thurston County Medic One and Advanced Life Support Funding. And I believe we have our fire chief here to do that.
Great.
Early.
Excuse me. Thank you, Mayor, council members. Just want to present this tonight regarding our renewal of our advanced life support contract with Thurston County Medic One. Just a reminder, a brief overview of the system. Remember, we're talking about advanced life support, which are the paramedic level services offered here in Thurston County. There are currently 8 medic units in the county, 3 in Lacey. There are 2 in Olympia, and now we have 3 in Tumwater, with Medic 8 obviously being the newest unit, which will be staffed 100% of the time at the first of the year. So we're very excited about having that unit. We're able to staff it now about 85% of the time through the end of the year, but it'll be fully staffed come the beginning of the year. The current agreement expires at the end of this year. Medic One helps fund. It takes about, when you do the math, about 9.5 staff members per unit to fully staff the unit. So 9.5 positions per unit of the 3 units. Also helps fund our medical services officer, who's a battalion chief that oversees the program. Overall, Medic One reimburses, depending on the unit, between 80 and 89% of the salaries and benefits for those employees. Medic One also provides for the medic units. We're excited that all 3 Tumwater medic units will be replaced in 2026. This cycle is replacing the 3 in Lacey, 2 in Olympia, and then our 3 will be replaced next year. All of our supplies and equipment are funded through the Medic One contract as well. The agreement also supports personnel training and supporting some of our needs in the fire stations, which I'll talk about here briefly in a minute. The agreement before you tonight is a 3-year term. The funding formulas remain basically the same for what Medic One funds for salaries, benefits, and overtime. There is an increased payment for the space that the paramedics use in the fire stations. I'll touch on that in a minute. Again, increased support for training. There's also, by the end of the agreement, an additional position that Medic One has agreed to help fund. And also the agreement continues some funding that was put forth by Medic One to help us with our Medicaid implementation. As far as the facilities, we had at the bottom, it mentions an amount that, for the square footage that the medic units take up in the bays, the primary and backup units, we did receive some funding for that space on a square foot basis. But Medic One has also realized that obviously dorm rooms, restrooms, day room, all those things, kitchen areas, they're all used by this staff as well. So they agreed to help support that. We came up with a formula. Basically, for both stations, the city will receive an additional $32,400 in funding to help support maintenance ongoing costs for those facilities. Training, fortunately, over the last several years, Medic One has helped support a program where our existing firefighters have an opportunity to attend paramedic school. And that's basically a 9 to 12-month process where that's their assignment for that period of time is to go to school. We've been very fortunate to have a few of our firefighters come back and are now working on the medic units, and it's a very good way to develop our employees and give them additional opportunities. Medic One will help support up to 2 per agency, so 6 per year, and that support goes from $50,000 to $75,000. That helps cover our costs to cover their shifts as they're in school. The new position support, for instance, here in Tumwater now we have basically 28 paramedics, and it's a pretty heavy lift for training, keeping up all of that for that staff. Medic One has agreed to help fund a position that will be dedicated specifically for training, and that's done by increasing the FTEs allotted for Medic 5 and Medic 8 in 27 and 28 from 9.5 to 10 per unit. So by the end of the agreement, we'll have support for an additional staff. It would be basically a day position to work with our medical services officer on training. All right, so the recommendation tonight is to authorize the mayor to sign the agreement. I'd be happy to take any questions.
Any questions? Great. Councilmember Swarthout.
Do our paramedics, are they just paramedic duty, or do they split duties between firefighting and EMT?
Great question. All of our paramedic, and actually all the paramedics in the county are dual role. They're fire and EMS. So, for instance, us now having Medic 8 staffed at Station 2, that's basically 2 additional firefighters we have there as well. So whenever that engine and medic unit roll out together, we have a better, more effective firefighting force as well. Yes.
That's 28, that seems, it's really a lot, and it seems like a lot. Is that comparable to the other jurisdictions?
Yeah, we have the agreements across all 3 jurisdictions are nearly identical. So Olympia and Lacey Fire District 3, I say Lacey, but it's actually Fire District 3, are supported in the same way. Yes, so similar numbers of staff.
It's nice to be fully staffed, because we've had this conversation, how hard it is to get.
Yeah.
So this is really awesome. Good work.
Great. Any other questions? All right. Do I hear a motion?
Thank you. So I move that council authorize the mayor to sign the intergovernmental agreement with the Thurston County Medic One for advanced life support funding.
I'll second.
All right. It's been moved by Councilmember Agabi, seconded by Councilmember Swarthout. Any discussion on the motion? All right. With that, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Thank you. Motion carries
you.
unanimous. All right, we only had 2 things for council considerations this evening. Next is committee reports, and the first one is Public Health and Safety, Councilmember Agabi.
Thank you, Mayor. So the last item that we approved actually came from Public Health and Safety Committee, so we are working. So we moved that to Food Council, and then the second item on our agenda was intergovernmental agreement with the Tustin was a presentation of data dashboard by the Tustin County City Attorney's Office. And that presentation was very, very, very informative in the sense that the data that we were shown, you can slice and dice this data by a number of items in terms of, say, for example, DUI or motor vehicle accident. And then you can also, it doesn't give you demographics in terms of so races and stuff like that, but it does allows you to see what kind of I don't want to say prosecuting offenses that were referred to the attorney's office and what they actually picked up, because what was referred to them and what they actually will pick up is different from what they have on a given day. And the data is always 1 year lagging behind because they don't have a means of having it been live. So, for example, data for last year, June, is what will be available now. And then the next year, June, will be data for 2025. So, and that is that. And then we talked about the police body camera, in-camera implementation plan. And then we have a very good, robust discussion by the city attorney and our chief of police in terms of what has been done and where they are on the timeline regarding camera and implementation plan. So those are the things that we talked about.
Thank you. General Government Committee, Councilmember Althauser.
Thank you, Mayor. The General Government Committee has not met, but we will be meeting next month. No updates, no reports from the committee.
Great, thank you. We have a little out of different order. Budget and Finance Committee will meet this Friday, and we will be discussing the monthly report. And then Public Works Committee, Councilmember Swarthout.
Thank you, Mayor. We'll be meeting on Thursday, October 23rd, bright and early at 8 a.m. And on our agenda is the interlocal agreement with the Thurston County and cities of Olympia, Lacey for the Thurston Climate Mitigation Collaborative. We have a resolution for Small Works roster and interlocal agreement with Lot Clean Water Alliance for the Class A Reclaimed Water Demonstration Pilot. Fun times, 8 o'clock, Thursday morning, guys.
Great, thank you. All right, next item is the Mayor City Administrator Report, and we will start out with City Administrator Parks.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, council members. So tonight I would like to start first order of business to be some kudos to our staff. So Dave Kangeiser with our stormwater program in water resources received thanks from community members for helping them understand issues related to our the Blackwater stormwater pond, and they sent an email thanking him for his help. Steve Craig and Mike Erickson this past week spent some time with a resident who was having experiencing a significant spike not only in her water bill but in her natural gas bill. They were able to go out, do some researching and investigating, including Mike actually going out to her home and helping her identify that there was a broken pressure relief valve on her hot water tank. And indeed, it was that was the culprit for both of those increases, and she was very grateful for them helping to figure that out. Also noteworthy, I would like to say on the consent agenda, the Second Avenue project was bid was awarded. One thing I'd like to point out is our TED staff is doing a phenomenal job getting projects out the door and getting projects out the door in such a manner that our load bids are coming in under their estimate. So the Second Avenue project was approximately $400,000 under the engineer's estimate with our low bid. And I believe it's the Percival Creek project also came in at about $350,000 under their estimate. So they're doing a great job of getting information put together so that our contractors are able to provide us with a decent and very competitive bid for those projects. The other thing I'd like to do today is on my Friday update last week, I provided you with a report on the Isabella Bush Park food production update as requested by the council members last Tuesday as we were talking about our food safety program in our community. So essentially, I asked Chuck Denny, our Parks Director, to give me an update. He's been working on this for quite some time. And here is the summary is, Tumwater School District currently has no immediate plans to use the facility or reinstate the program or their staff. However, Grubb did use the facility over this past summer through September. Their program is complete, but Chuck has been talking to and meeting with the Olympia Kiwanis Club. The Kiwanis Club of Olympia has several different farm sites in Olympia where they produced over 47,000 pounds of vegetables this year for the food bank. However, they're losing approximately 2 acres of their current production space, so they are looking for a new location. So Chuck met with them last week. They are planning to have a visit out to the facility and see if there are that everything matches and is aligned. The Kiwanis does have a youth-oriented program. So Key Club, if you've ever heard of Key Club, that is a Kiwanis-sponsored high school program typically. So there is an intention to work with both the Tumwater School District as well as the Olympia School District to get some youth participation in that food production process, but it's not necessarily well detailed at this point. Ultimately, the plan for that facility is to get some group in there, preferably youth-oriented if possible, who can actually use the property to grow, harvest, and contribute food into our community. And sort of the secondary ancillary benefit is that continuous use of the barn and that site will help deter decay of the facility, help prevent vandalism, and honestly to reduce some of our staff time associated with maintaining and upkeeping those buildings and facilities. So then the last thing I wanted to mention to the council and the public is changes to Tumwater Municipal Code Chapter 12.32 Public Parks. We are wrapping up some final edits to the changes to this chapter of the Tumwater Municipal Code with the primary purpose to ensure we are able to enforce the same rules governing how people use our public parks on all city-owned properties. So just a little bit of a background and reminder on this topic. It was first proposed to the City Council in November of 2023 and with follow-up conversations in the first part of 2024. The original intent and purpose for those changes was to provide this consistent authority on city-owned property, primarily for our police officers in their enforcement activities. There was, however, significant concern and discussion with the community originally with these proposed code changes as we were trying to indicate compliance with a Ninth Circuit Court decision that limited our ability to prevent people from sleeping on public property if there was nowhere else for them to go, such as an emergency shelter. People were concerned that the changes would encourage or facilitate encampments to be set up in parks or on city property. When we last discussed the modifications to the proposed changes, we were actually waiting for the Supreme Court, the U.S. Supreme Court, to come out with a decision that challenged the Ninth Circuit Court that created these limitations and was going to change potentially the context of our proposed ordinance. And indeed, that decision has been issued and our proposed changes have been updated to delete some of the language that had the most concern for people as they were reviewing that document. So our plan is to bring the final proposed changes to the council for your consideration at the November 18th council meeting. I'm going to be putting some additional details in the Friday update email this week. And then starting next week, I'm working with Jason and the communications team. We're going to be doing some proactive public outreach around this topic, and specifically including contacting the people who provided input throughout the process, in an effort to help people know what's happening and what these codes are intended to do and what they will not do. And so that is my report for this evening. And I appreciate your time and attention.
Thank you. So for my report, kind of a summary of some of the things that I've done. On the 9th of October, I attended the Olympia Town Center Senior Picnic, which is actually in the park. And they had a chili cook-off and every year. And our own Todd won that, and the chili was amazing. There was so much chili there. It was just really great. And that's always one of the external ones is usually the biggest turnout for our senior citizens, and I really appreciate all the time that staff does. I got invited to the Bucota pie eating contest, and I participated. Oh my goodness. It was fun. So I didn't even try to win because there was one of the contestants who is a very well-known comedian. There was no way anybody was going to beat him. So, but it was fun to go down there and support Bucota. And then I attended the Tumwater Chamber meeting on the 15th. Tomorrow I'll have the EDC board meeting. Reminder on October 30th is the ballot processing facility ribbon cutting. And so if any of the council members are attending that, please let Brittany know. And then reminder that our next city council meeting is on Monday, November 3rd, because Tuesday is election day. So we always move it to the Monday before. So that is my report, and I will start with council reports, and I'll start with Councilmember Althauser.
Thanks, Mayor. Well, my report will be pretty brief. We have a Regional Housing Council meeting coming up tomorrow, but thankfully my colleague, compatriot on that committee, Councilmember Kathy, is going to be attending that meeting on my behalf. So I'm sure that she will give a full report in our meeting 2 weeks from today about the proceedings that occur tomorrow. Thank you.
Great, thank you. So then we will move to Councilmember Kathy. No, Kathy. No, I'm going to do Zoom. I'm going to do Zoom land first. So Councilmember Kathy.
Well, I'm starting on the report now. Was that kind of an introduction? Even make some stuff up. No, I don't have any other report other than I will be attending the Regional Housing Council meeting tomorrow. And we'll look forward to giving the report next time. And I'm glad you reminded us about Monday.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Councilmember Dahlhoff.
Thank you, Mayor. I had Public Health and Safety, LOT, the Wastewater Clean Water Alliance had interviews to hire a lobbyist. So that is a new direction that let us going. And then I had the 3 cities and county meeting with the mayor and city administrator. And that's my report.
Great, thank you. Now we'll go to Councilmember Agabi.
Are you sure, Mayor?
I'm positive.
Okay. Thank you. So on October 8th, I attended the Tustin County Transportation Board meeting. And then at that meeting, which was a very short one, surprisingly, we mostly focused on the intercity transit system update. And then we also talked about the policy board recruitment. And then we talked about Title VI Planning Resolution 2025-08, and then legislative priorities. And then on October 13, I attended a JASCOM meeting. And so at JASCOM, well, because of the budget shortfall that is happening everywhere, so we are having an issue. So the director of the animal shelter have previously sent an email to to the city saying that because they wanted to make sure that the cities are relieved of the budget shortfall, they were going to get a reprieve of having their rate go up. But when we had our meeting, we were going to be spending a substantial amount of money from our reserve, and we didn't want to do that. So we advised the animal shelter director to call back the email that she has sent to the cities and all the jurisdictions that about the rates that we're not going to go up. Since if we do that, we'll be spending close to, I believe it was about 4 or 5% of our reserve. So we rather we keep our reserve than do that. So that was one of the things that we focus on heavily. So traditionally, for the month of November and December, in November is when we talked about the other years, deliberate about the other year's budget, and then December is when we do the adoption. So this coming meeting in November is going to be focused heavily on budget discussion and then preparation for adoption in December. So that's my take.
Great, thank you. Councilmember Swarthout.
Thank you, Mayor. We'll have Public Works coming up, and my next meeting, I'll have the Thurston Climate Mitigation Collaborative meets on Monday, October 27th. And TRPC, we'll be interviewing, we have 3 candidates for replace Mark Daly. So that will be our Friday meeting that we'll be doing interviews and having some direction there. So that will be our next big meeting. So that's my report.
Great, thank you. All right. We have a very shorter meeting than normal this evening. So with no other business, we are adjourned, everyone. Thank you.